In the year 1480 in Romania, Prince Vlad lived happily with his wife, Elizabetha. As a symbol of their love, Vlad gave her a small music box. One day, while they're enjoying their time together, some knights suddenly arrive and tell Vlad he must go to battle. The country is at war and the enemy is getting close. Vlad orders his men to take Elizabetha to another safe castle. Before leaving, Vlad receives a blessing from the Pope, asking God to protect his wife. While traveling through the forest, Elizabetha and her guards are attacked. An enemy soldier hiding in the trees kills 2 guards with arrows. The remaining guards tell Elizabetha to ride ahead while they fight. Meanwhile, outside the woods, Vlad creates a wall of fire by breaking oil barrels and lighting them. A big battle begins. Many soldiers die on both sides, but Vlad's army fights bravely and starts winning. Soon they defeat the enemy army and stand before the enemy king, holding the heads of the fallen soldiers on their spears. But then Vlad learns that his wife was attacked, so he rushes to find her. Elizabetha is riding as fast as she can while enemy soldiers chase her. The forest is known as the Forest of Wolves, and many bear traps are hidden under the snow. 2 enemy soldiers fall into traps, but Elizabetha avoids them until her horse gets caught and she falls. The enemies surround her carefully, poking the snow with swords to check for traps. Elizabetha tries to escape but steps on a trap herself. When Vlad arrives, his horse also falls into a trap. He continues on foot and fights 2 enemy soldiers, defeating them quickly. He throws his sword to save Elizabetha, but the sword also accidentally stabs her. Vlad cries as he holds Elizabetha in his arms while she dies. Sometime later, Vlad goes to see the Pope again. He is angry at God for not protecting his wife. He says he is killed for God, but now he wants a miracle to bring Elizabetha back. The Pope says he can't help. Vlad becomes furious and kills the Pope with a crucifix. He shouts that he will no longer follow God unless Elizabetha returns. Suddenly, the wind rises inside the church and a statue of Jesus begins to cry, but Vlad looks proud. His frightened soldiers pull him away. 400 years later, France. A priest visits a psychiatric clinic to speak with Dr. Dumont. The doctor says he has a case so strange it even worries the Queen of England. They walk through the wild, chaotic halls of the clinic where many patients are misbehaving. They enter a sealed room where Maria is chained. She is Italian and engaged to the Queen's great-nephew. During her wedding, she saw a bishop and suddenly went into a fit of fear. Her records say she was born in 1759, which would make her 130 years old. They wonder if she is something unnatural. Maria wakes up and hisses at them. The priest notices her fangs and says she is a vampire. He explains that vampires can go out during the day but cannot stand direct sunlight. To prove it, he opens the window and her skin burns. When he puts a crucifix near her face, it catches fire. He cuts a little of Simon's finger and drops blood into Maria's mouth so she will speak. He finds bite marks on her neck. She says that the first vampire is her master, a prince who is coming to town to find his princess. Meanwhile, a notary named Jonathan travels at night through a forest. The coach driver stops and refuses to go farther because wolves will soon come out. Jonathan walks the rest of the way with a torch and a crucifix. He reaches a big, scary castle. As soon as he enters, the gates shut behind him. A door opens and closes by itself. An old man suddenly appears behind him, Prince Vlad, also known as Count Dracula. Jonathan eats dinner, but Dracula does not eat. While Jonathan looks for papers in his bag, Dracula quietly kills a rat and squeezes its blood into a cup to drink. Jonathan explains he wants to buy an old abbey in Paris. He accidentally drops the crucifix, and Dracula throws it into the fire. Jonathan is taken to his room and told not to leave at night. He finds a book about the castle's history. A picture of young Vlad is there, but the portrait of the prince is missing. The priest visits Maria's fiancé, Henry. While searching her room, he finds the missing page with Elizabetha's portrait. At night, Jonathan disobeys Dracula and leaves his room. He follows a light to a basement where he finds a coffin. Inside is Dracula, sleeping. Dracula wakes, saying Jonathan should have stayed in his room. Gargoyles knock Jonathan out. Jonathan wakes hanging upside down as Dracula cuts his neck, letting blood drip into a bowl. Before killing him, Dracula asks Jonathan for his last wish. Jonathan wants to know Dracula's story. Dracula explains he has waited centuries for Elizabetha to be reborn. He tried searching during the Black Plague, but many women died or hid in churches. He grew lonely and even tried to kill himself, but he could not die. He created a perfume from magical flowers. Women who smelled it fell under his control. He traveled through parties and cities, making people dance for him. He thought he found Elizabetha once, but it wasn't her, and he cried. He bit many women, including Maria, turning them into vampires to help him search. He returned to Elizabetha's grave and found only ashes. Heartbroken, he decided never to leave the castle again. Jonathan shows him a locket with a picture of his fiancée, Mina. Dracula immediately recognizes her, Elizabetha reborn. He decides to spare Jonathan and asks his gargoyles to bring him lots of blood so he can look handsome for Mina. Dracula goes to Paris. The priest finds the portrait of Elizabetha and realizes they must find a woman who looks like her. Simon then says he saw such a woman, Mina, Jonathan's fiancée. Dracula comes to the abbey dressed as a homeless man. Inside the chapel, he sprays perfume on a statue, causing all the nuns to fall under his spell. They throw themselves at him and he feeds on them. Jonathan escapes from the castle by climbing out a window. Gargoyles try to reach him but fall into a frozen lake. Dracula arrives at the clinic and uses perfume to control Simon, letting Maria feed on him. Mina hears a knock at her boarding house and opens the door to find Maria, looking healthy. Maria takes Mina to a hotel where Dracula waits. Dracula cries when he sees Mina. He kisses her hand and she sees visions of the past. Feeling confused, Mina leaves with Maria to a festival. Dracula follows them as they enjoy food, drinks, shows, and games. In a haunted house, Mina gets scared, and Dracula appears to guide her out. Later, in the hotel room, Dracula shows her the music box. She remembers the melody and sees visions of Elizabetha. She accuses him of using a spell, but he gives her the music box as a gift. Dracula walks her home. But inside, Mina finds Jonathan, very sick. The priest tells her the truth about Dracula, but she refuses to believe it until she opens the music box and Dracula appears in her room. He says he never used perfume on her and throws it into the fire. Mina's nose bleeds and Dracula licks the blood. Memories rush into her and she finally remembers being Elizabetha. They kiss and make love. Mina asks for immortality, and Dracula bites her. The priest rushes in, but the room is empty. They believe Dracula took her back to his castle, so Jonathan leads them there. Maria meets Henry again and prepares to bite him, but the priest arrives. Maria attacks, so Jonathan cuts off her head. The priest stabs her heart to kill her completely. Dracula and Mina arrive at the castle. Mina wears Elizabetha's dress and meets the gargoyles. Jonathan, the priest, Dumont, and soldiers attack the castle with guns and cannons. Gargoyles fight, but are outnumbered. Soldiers reach the basement. Dracula appears, knocks Jonathan out, and kills many soldiers. Henry shoots Dracula, but the bullets do nothing. Dracula bites him. Dracula grabs the priest and says Mina is his salvation. The priest says Dracula will destroy her. Hearing Mina scream, Dracula rushes to his room and hugs her. The priest tries to follow, but Dracula locks the door. The priest begs Dracula to do the right thing if he truly loves her. Dracula steps out, ignoring Mina's cries, and allows the priest to stab him in the heart. Mina pulls Dracula's dying body into the room. They share final words before he turns to ashes. The castle goes dark. The gargoyles turn into human children. Jonathan finds Mina crying alone with Dracula's ashes. Realizing she no longer loves him, he walks away. Outside, Dracula's ashes blow away in the wind.